Welcome to DevOps Accents, a podcast on everything around DevOps, public cloud, and cloud-native topics, with your hosts, Pablo, Leo, and Kirill.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to DevOps Accents, the podcast where we get together and we discuss all things DevOps and everything around it. We are the founders of MKDev, Pablo, Kirill, and me, Leo. Even though Kirill is not here today, he is on vacation, relaxing on some fancy hotel.
It's the second time that he failed, eh? So it's not the first time, it's the second one.
Yeah, but the first time he has a pretty fair excuse.
Yes, it was COVID, but okay. But still, the second time. Number 12 of our podcast, and he only has been in 10.
Yeah, Kirill, it's 2 strikes already. Okay, Pablo, how have you been?
I'm very good, Today is Monday, but okay, very good.
Yeah, same. So I decided to take this opportunity while Kirill is absent to talk something non-technical things. While Kirill is not here, no one will punish us for talking about ChatGPT. But yeah, really, I wanted to talk not about ChatGPT, but this is something that we've been discussing a lot in the past few weeks and days, and this is something that constantly appears in our chat, on my Twitter, on Reddit, or everywhere around the technology area. The people are talking about how AI is stealing our jobs. But the other day I found this interesting quote. I don't know who said that, but it goes like roughly like this: like, if you are using ChatGPT for your everyday task, this means that your job will be replaced first. So what does it mean? Basically, it means that if you allow your task to be dedicated to artificial intelligence or to other tools that came up with artificial intelligence, this means that you are not so very special, and your entire job can be automated. And this means that you should be better than that. And I would like to explore this idea. What does it mean? So, for example, I can delegate a lot of, email writing, right, to ChatGPT. It's roughly more or less good at that, especially if you train it. But my job is not only writing emails, right? So there are so many other things that we need to do. And I wanted to explore a little bit deeper and how we think our workplace will be shaped, how we will change our habits in work in not so distant future, and how it will affect us particularly. For example, we are working on consulting area, and we are working on providing services area. We create infrastructures, we set up clouds, and so on. So how do you think this might change in the future with all these technologies?
This is an opinion of first, I am not 20 years old, but I remember when Google appeared, because Google is not something that is here. Google, Yahoo, Lycos, or many other search engines that appeared.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many years, 15 years. So, Internet appeared in 1992. So in 1992, Internet appeared in the planet Earth. So we are not talking something that is here since 2,000 million of years. So when the search engines appear, I remember that everyone was crazy. Wow, this is like you're cheating. So you're not working correctly because you're telling to a machine, what is that? Because you need to remember that before, maybe I saw. There were a number of books with the IPs, and then in this book you have the IPs of the places, and when the search engine appeared, it wasn't working so good, and then Google appeared, and then when you wanted to find something, you only need to type for example, restaurant in Berlin, and then a list of restaurants appear. And at the end, when the people start to see that, the word they started to be something like, "Wow, this is crazy. The world is going to change." And at the end, we used to these new functionalities. I think that everyone is going to use to these new tools that are coming with AI and many others that will come. It's like, for example, I always talk about the electric car, but I think it's a very good example. If you have an electric car that even drives for you, it's not that you are cheating when you are driving. So there is a machine that is driving for you. Why should I need to drive, for example, from one place A to B, if I don't like to drive? And it's like in my case, I don't have the right license. So why should I have to drive from A to B if there is a machine that can drive to me? For that reason, I think that these tools are going to save a lot of time. As you mean, I want to write an email to a hotel
Yes.
the other day, and this was 2 days ago. I will go on vacation to some places in Asia, and then I book a reservation. So and then the hotel is giving to me. We are four, my wife and my two kids. The hotel is giving to me a suite, a room, but there is only one bed, and I ask him for an extra bed. And the hotel is telling to me that, okay, they will put to me an extra bed, but I need to pay a fee for the extra bed, which is strange, but okay, I accepted the fee. But, okay. But even they said that I need to pay breakfast, another breakfast. And I started to write an email telling that, okay, so try to be polite but funny, no? Is the bed going to have a breakfast with me? And then I was maybe so far away my jokes that maybe they don't understand my jokes, and then you can tell that, okay, this is an email for a guy who is living in Indonesia, and you want to make this kind of joke, and he's able to modify your email and to try to make a joke that, okay, maybe it's not valid, okay, that is making a joke that is less cultural associated to my Spanish underground, and is more generic joke, telling if the bed is going to have a breakfast. So I'm still waiting for the answer from the hotel. But in these kind of themes, they can help you a lot. Are you going to be fired? To be fired, you need to associate an automation to whatever thing. So, and the point is that you're not going to be fired while you're writing whatever thing or doing whatever thing if there is no automation connected to the thing that you were doing. So then, if you're going to be fired, it's because there is a script, there is a code, there is an API, there is something connected to what you were doing that now is connected to this new AI or whatever thing, and the output is able to be integrated in the same way that you were doing. Imagine that you are writing emails daily.
Yes.
To 300 people. The day that you have a tool that is able to write these emails and send these emails, connecting these emails to an API, sending us, doing everything in one shot with not human intervention, this day, yes, you can be fired. But if your job is only sending emails, but as you were telling, if you are doing 100 different themes at the day, because this is mostly what most of us doing, you are not going to be fired. I think it's going to simplify your daily job.
Yeah, but if we are not talking about like fires and bad things, what good things can happen? Do you think this will open the door to? Okay, let's be honest. DevOps and cloud technologies are kind of complicated, and yeah, and with these new technologies, with these tools, do you think it will open the door for more people into that, and more people will start to understand okay, maybe not understand, but are capable of doing things that they weren't able to do before that. For example, let's take me. I don't understand much of DevOps. I know the concepts, but I am unable basically to run something or create some scripts so that you are doing with Kirill. And this is something that AI can do for me now, and I might ask it to like give me the plan and give me the steps that I need to make and something like that. So even though it will be a basic level, but I will be able to enter this door and do something for myself on my own. Do you think this will be a common thing, and how this will affect workplaces on the other side of our customers?
Okay, we need to know something. This kind of AI that appear in the market during the last months, BART or GPT, ChatGPT. So these kind of technologies are language model that are expert in language. What does mean? That this AI is not able to drive a car. This AI is not able to pilot an airplane. This AI is not able to operate your heart in case that you have a heart attack. What this AI is expert is in language. So he can speak many languages. He understand language. He understand what you said and is able to answer like a person. And this is where we think that is smart because it's able to understand language. So you send the tokens, and then he is able to algorithmically detect what is the best statistic answer for the question that you made. So this is how it's working. So it's very good in language ways. So again, it's not good if you tell this one. There are many others AIs. It's not good if you tell, I want to design a Mac, make me this design. This is not today how it's working. So then, if we think first that, and we know that thing, that those AIs are experts in language, if you're telling to me that I want to learn DevOps, and mostly DevOps is based in code and languages and YAML files and little setup and new themes that appear. And for example, this new, as soon as you can connect, as you can see now with this new browsing functionality that you have in GPT or like in BART that is already connected to internet, you can give, okay, this is the manual of this new application that I want to use. This is the web page. This is the PDF. The problem is the number of tokens that you can send that is limited to 4,000, but imagine that you have 100,000, 2 million of tokens you can send. Okay, this is the 500 pages of this PDF that it is all the documentation about how it's working. Imagine, Argo CD. Put, just send the link. And you can do that. The only limitation that you have now today is that because 200 million people is connected to all these places, they limit it to an amount of 4,000 tokens or whatever number of tokens. But imagine 500 pages of PDF. This is Argo CD. Okay, 1 second after. Okay, I read this document. I am now an expert in Argo CD. Oh, at least I understand everything that is wrote in these 500 pages.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you are an expert in Argo CD, please, I want to do this by line. I want to do that. I want to do that and that and that. For sure that this is able to be done. But this is able to be done today, as soon as you open the number of tokens. And this is working. And then you can tell, okay, now I want to do that. Imagine Python. Because why is so expert, for example, ChatGPT Python? Because they decided to train in this language. So if you tell to these tools, okay, I want you to make this code for me, it's going to do that for you, and in a very good way. So, but then it's going to be able to help people to be close to DevOps, of course, and even it's going to make that many people that doesn't know how to do something is able to learn. But again, this is a language model that is going to answer to you with text.
Mm-hmm.
So many people is waiting to answer with aptiums. And this is the difference. The difference is, I want to do that. Okay, and then magically the machine create for you imagine a cluster in Google Cloud, a GK cluster, deploy the pods, set up the
Yeah,
network,
this is
set up
not gonna
everything.
happen.
No, this could happen because at the end it's one IP connected to another IP, connected to another IP, connected to another IP, another. But today, for sure, that this is not happening. But this is going to happen. Yes, it's clear that yes. So because this is the next step, we are writing and we get words, or we are talking and we get voice. But at the end, it's the same. We are not getting aptions. We are getting text.
Mm-hmm.
But to get aptions, you need to be so clear that the AI is good, because imagine that you're telling you need to do that and that and that, and like today is happening, is failing because sometimes it's failing because maybe the question that you are making to this algorithm is not good enough, and the algorithm does not understand correctly what you want to tell. So, but some other times it's failing because the information that has, because at the end again it's an algorithm and it's doing a statistic resume. So okay, let's see what is the most with all the information that I have, what is the answer that is better for this token that I receive. So I receive a token 2025, token 100, token 25. So the best solution, this is giving to me 87%, and this is 82%. Okay, I'm going to give the one of 87%. And maybe this is a mistake. This is not okay.
Mm.
But because the source of information, imagine that you're getting as a source of information Twitter, that where everyone lies and what everyone says in Twitter is not true.
Mm.
Then the info that you have is not true. So this is what I mean. So, but the day that you have all the info and you are clear that all the info that you have is okay, this day you can tell to your tool to do that automatically. Not talk to me. I want you to react to me,
You
like
reminded,
many other AIs.
yeah. So you remind me the case that happened not so long ago. The lawyer that used ChatGPT to write papers for him while he was preparing to some case defending someone on court or something like that. I didn't explore it too deeply. But the thing is, when ChatGPT was composing the answer for the lawyer, it always referred to other similar cases. And it appeared that those similar cases were fake and ChatGPT just came up with them. Because this is something that it knows that he should to refer to some cases, but there is no such case, and he doesn't have access to databases to find the actual cases. And he just writes random names, random places where this happened, and just like something that happened there. So we had this outcome, and therefore we should do this in that case. And there are a lot of fake references in his papers, and this lawyer, he didn't check them, and he just used them and put them on court, and now he is under investigation for basically lying. So this is something that happens right now because, as you said, this is a language model, right? This is not a tool that takes the information, validates the information, and then provides it to you. It just takes some words. It finds the best word that should come after that, and then generate answer that look like a real answer. Even though most of them are based on actual papers and actual documents, And it might happen that what he put together is true because he based on actual papers. But in some cases, this might not happen.
Yes, because imagine that. Okay, the different case, no? Imagine that you have an AI that what is going to do is going to help you to operate your eye. So it's a laser that is going to point to your eyes and it's going to help you. It's surgery. So in this case, the thing is, what is the info that the AI is getting? The info that the AI is getting is only imagine the points, or I don't know, imagine that is getting the curvature of the eye, the color of your eye, if there is a dot in your eye, where is the red in case that is checking that there is a vein. So it's something completely different because in this case is the scope of the info is completely limited to your eyes or maybe your blood pressure or your heart, whatever thing, whatever number of parameters, but it's limited to 300 parameters. And this AI is only taking these parameters and considering these parameters, he made a model and considering is taking reaction depends of statistics again. But okay, he knows that when the eye is here and here and here and here and here, then it's going to react in this way. But the problem with these other models is that they are not reacting in only a limited number of parameters. They are reacting in a train that, as we can see, most of the times is made in internet. So, and the thing is in internet is who can go to internet and write an article about tomatoes? Everyone.
Yes.
I can go. My mother, you, your father, your uncle, everyone can go to internet and write an article about tomatoes. Are you a fucking expert in tomatoes?
No.
No. Are you the most clever guy talking about tomatoes in the world?
Absolutely not.
No. Yes, but you can go and write an article about tomatoes. Why? Because it's internet. So, and this is the internet. I'm talking about the blog. I'm not talking about Twitter, Facebook, or everything where everyone can go there. So now the problem is, imagine that there is only all the investigation papers that are in the world. Then at least this number of papers is creating a base of knowledge that is a scientific knowledge, and then only you have only this knowledge, and knowing all of this plus a base in math, physics, and all these science that you can answer more or less more correctly. But Burr and ChatGPT are a generic
Yes.
AIs, valid for everything. I want to cook cochinita pibil. This is the recipe. I want to make a furnace. I want to clean a couch. I want to throw a stone. Everything. It's valid for everything. I am alone at home. Could you write to me a poem? Could you sing a song with me? It's everything. So you cannot be an expert of everything.
Absolutely.
Because the place where all the info that you are getting is coming is from the non-experts.
Do you think at some
A
point?
non-expert is giving to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So, do you think at some point you will be fixing the mistakes that people are making using ChatGPT for their infrastructure?
I could be yes or could be no. You never know because okay. When I started to work in IT many years ago, the people had books,
Yes.
only books, and the source of truth was in a book.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a guy who wrote a book. You had a book about Java, or you had a book about AIX, or you had a book about Unix, or you had a book about Linux, something like that. And you had books. And then the source of truth was the books. And then really, if something wasn't in a book,
It was true.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
No, but yes, the book was true.
The book was true. Yes.
But if something wasn't in a book, then it was super complicated because the point is, how can I know something? Or because again, internet how it is today, it wasn't like that. So imagine in 1995, if you want to 3 years after internet appeared. So and imagine what was that. So you were not able to to go to internet and search something, because there were nothing. Okay, with some colleagues in 1986, we created a web page called variando.com, that it was what is today booking.com or many other pages. So, but it was a page about bars in my hometown, Salamanca, and there were nothing in the world about bars, and there were nothing in the world about IT. There were 2 or 3 pages for that, and it was super difficult to know these pages. And even there were magazines that in the magazine they were talking about web pages.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that you have a paper magazine that it was talking to you about other web pages that you can go to, and you have a paper to go to these web pages. And it was like that. So what I mean that the all times the sort of truth was that, and then it was hard because nobody wanted to do a thing, because if it wasn't in a book, nobody was doing that, and the people had books on the tables, and if there is a problem, the people were checking the books, the page 235, so what is telling here that. But now, if we go to this new world where everything could be based in a intelligent, I put that on quotes, that is telling to us, no, you need to do and that and that and that, and you, closing your eyes, do that, for sure that we will need to fix problems day by day.
And
Because it's a person, very good speaker, person that can help you. It's not an expert in anything.
when back in days when the truth was in books, basically your job was to read
The books, yes.
read all of the books, test everything that the books say to you, and then tell to other people what is right and what is wrong, what works, what doesn't, and that's what was making you an expert. Similar is to today, yeah.
Completely right. So, because don't think that it's because many times the writers, the ITs, the many people with different jobs, they think that they're special. No, I am super good. I am doing. No, man, you are not doing a thing. So even because if you at least are the guy who made this application, you are the guy who created Windows. You are the guy. You are Linus Torvalds. You are Richard Stallman. Okay, you can be a guy who was working on the studio. Yes, I am Linus Torvalds. But if you're a guy who, like me, who goes and reads articles and books, and okay, that's all. I am a person who knows how to read. Congratulations. There are other 7,000 millions in the planet that like you. So, or 8,000 million. I don't know the number. So, but even I know how to read, and I know how to apply what I read. Congratulations. You're very good. So, for sure that is the same. What we were doing before, it was read books, and now what the people will do is use these tools to say this. Because we have a video in the channel that is a super cool video where we create, I create a tool that is able in Python code, that is able to, you talk to the to your laptop, that the laptop transcribe the test to so your voice to test, then send this question to ChatGPT for, and then ChatGPT for answer, and then the laptop speak to you. So this was done in 2-3 hours with the help of ChatGPT. Without the help of ChatGPT, this is a work of 3, 4, 5 days, or maybe 3 weeks. For sure, that is very good. But again, after many fails, because you do something and fail and fail and fail and fail and fail and fail,
Yeah.
and because the amount of tokens that you have, the amount of the size of the test that you can send and provide, and because ChatGPT create an environment where it's telling this is my reference are coming from the last 30 minutes or 40 minutes, sorry, 30 minutes, 3,000 words or 4,000 words that I have. So, and because it's only checking this reference as a timing, so, it's only it's like if we are talking and we have a conversation of 3 hours. You can remember what we said at the beginning of the conversation. But imagine that you have...
More or less. Yeah, but...
Yes, but imagine that you are talking with a fish, that when you're talking to this fish, he or she or it or whatever, only remember the last 3 minutes of the conversation. This is the problem with, and it's a clever fish, eh? So it's not a stupid fish. It's a
Yeah, it's a talking fish.
it's a talking fucking clever fish that knows what he's telling to you, but he does not remember what you told to the fucking fish the last 3 minutes. So this is ChatGPT over today, because okay, but I told you before that I want to use a function. Yes, sorry for that. Pretty polite, eh? But sorry for that. Sorry for that. I didn't remember that. It's not that you don't remember that. It's that the tokens that you have the limit has been crossed, and then you are whipping out everything that that was before. So we back to the 3 minute conversation with a fish. Okay, so Dory, how are you?
Totally. Exactly.
Do you think your project infrastructure is well set and maintained? We know for sure there is always room for improvement. If you are uncertain where to begin, let's first do an audit of what you already have. We will review your setup from every angle: performance, cost, security, high availability, and automation, and provide you with a detailed roadmap of which direction your infrastructure should go, generate concrete tasks for you to implement, or even take on your infra entirely, if you let us, of course.
Okay, so guys, a video that Pablo has mentioned is a great example of what we are talking about here. If you missed that, you can go to our mkdev.me page and find the mkdev dispatch. It's our regular bi-weekly newsletter where we combine all the most important and most interesting things that we created and shared on the internet. And that's the best thing, not to miss anything. And you will be able to find an archive of all the cool articles and the links. And the link to this video about ChatGPT that Pablo mentioned is there too. You won't miss it. Go and subscribe today. And you also will be able to get a cool mug with your own portrait if you share MKDev Dispatch with your friends, colleagues, relatives, whatever. But another thing that came to mind to me is that video that we've been sharing a lot on the past days about new feature on Adobe Photoshop. You will be you was the first who linked this video in our internal chat. This generative tool that generates images inside of Photoshop, basically on your simple prompt, or it helps to expand or replace a lot of different tools. I've been looking for this for many years, because ever since Midjourney appeared, I was thinking how this will reshape Photoshop in the future. And now this tool appeared, and I've seen this another cool video when a guy takes two images in the same style that were generated by Midjourney, and he put them aside from each other. And using this new generative tool from Photoshop, he generates all the missing parts of the image, creating striking image, a very beautiful scene of two women in some kind of boudoir, very cozy, very beautiful. And AI was able to pick up teeny small details, and based on that create entire scene. For example, on one image there was a woman, and behind the woman there was a lamp that looked like grapes or something like that. And based on that, AI created a whole I don't know, a whole wall of these lamps. And then the designer outlined some part of this wall, and he created a prompt like, make this a tree. and then the AI generated a tree and the lamps hanging from this tree. And it was a very beautiful scene. And the video lasts for like 2 minutes or something like that. And the guy created in 2 minutes really, really impressive image.
Yeah, yes, but this is different. And again, this for me, this one is close to the AI that we were talking before about the eyes that are going to operate your brain, or so, this kind of AI that is going to be used to operate your eyes or whatever thing. Because when you are working only in images, that these kind of tools,
Mm-hmm.
you close your environment. So I am not going to ask you, give me a recipe of lasagna. I am not going to ask you, I want a poem in Japanese using every 25 words a German word. So you're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell, okay, this is an image. Okay, I have a huge catalog of images. It's hard here to understand because there is, for example, there is a very, very good library made for Meta. That Meta is the one who is quiet here in all this history about the AI, but Meta is making crazy themes. There is a library for Meta that is able to detect objects. I I need to find the name of this library, and this library is super cool because you give an image and it's telling, imagine here there is a person, here there is I don't know, a table, whatever thing. And
So it's the tool that
yes,
basically reads the image
yes, it's called
and tells you
segment
what.
anything model. It's called SAM, segment anything model. So it's super cool because this SAM, segment anything, you give a photo
Mm-hmm.
and then it is telling you here, this is a dog. We have whatever person, whatever thing, and they wanted to use this library in the meta world. So because when you put the glasses and you're walking on the street and you see the reality, uh, this library is able to detect everything that is around. So what you see in your eyes at the end is there is a camera, so and is what is able to detect. And then what I mean is that this is the world. It's a closed environment. I have a table, I have a chair, I have whatever thing. When I have a paint, I have imagine what you're telling, like Discord, Discord, yes, not Discord, Midjourney, like Midjourney and many other tools.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to create this, that, I'm based on this one, blah, 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 blah. At the end, it's super cool and it's, what they're doing is amazing. But again, it's limited to an environment. And at the end, as you know, because we use Mid Journey many times, the version 5, or whatever the version, many times it's giving to you something random.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, okay, I want you to make a ring coach that it is in the middle of a living room in a house where three guys are watching TV in front of TV, in front of a cactus. And then what he made is something completely different. And you say, fuck, I want to have a green coach where three guys are sitting there, they're watching TV, and in front of them there is a cactus. No, there are five guys. There is no coach. There are many chairs. And what I mean is that it's an enclosed environment about images, but maybe in the catalog that he had, he cannot take pieces to create this image. So it's different. So, it's the same technique because at the end we are talking about AI, but it's different, what one and the other are doing. It's not exactly the same. So this is what I mean that for me, depends of the AI. When you have a specific AI, I think that this is going to work perfectly. For example, I want to have an AI like this one to make images. It's something crazy. I want to make an AI that is able to create videos, understand the videos, operate my eyes, help me to drive. This is perfect. But when you want to have a AI for everything, I think that this is when you have the problem. So and this one about images are super cool because of that.
Yeah, and talking about images, when I continued to explore this particular case that I described earlier, I then downloaded the image that he received as a result, and I zoomed in, and I discovered that even though the image was impressive and striking and basically stellar on a smaller screen, when you zoom in, you see all the imperfections. Okay, it's not imperfections, it's like atrocities, because the image basically, it was blurry, the shapes were quirky, uneven, random, different. From the distance, it looks like a tree with the lamps hanging from the tree, but when you zoom in, it looked like just a mess of just color splatters here and there, and basically it looks like an illustration rather than a photograph. And this is where when I realized that even though these tools are here today, they cannot be used to replace real photographers or to replace real designers who will I mean the designers who create scenes in real life, and then they put model in this scene, and then the photographer, he create a picture of this model in this beautiful scene, and then this image goes to magazine on cover or everyone else. So this tool in Photoshop will never be able to replace. Okay, I'm not going to say never, but someday maybe, but not today, and not in a not so very distant future, because it still tries to mimic what it sees on the original picture, rather than trying to create something specific or something that it understands. It still don't understand what it's doing. It still doesn't create lamp. It's create color splatter rather than a lamp. It just mimics and not create. And getting back to what we did, we are going to Amsterdam this June, and we created very cool stickers and image for the t-shirts. And I've been thinking about it because I tried to put on ChatGPT the fact that we are going to sponsor this event and that is going to happen at Amsterdam, and I tried to ask ChatGPT come up with ideas for stickers for that. So, and no matter how I tried to put creative prompts for that and to force it to create with something cool, it kept giving me very generic ideas on what should be on sticker, like a person on a bicycle on Amsterdam, or a person with a laptop on on background on Amsterdam. And then our designer, she just like, I don't know how many hours it took her. She just created this cool ideas of containers stacked on each other that looked like an Amsterdam skyline, and it was so cool. And I understand that AI never could came up with that idea.
Yes, because first, Rina is this is crazy good, first, number one. And second, we need to think again. So we are talking about creativity, or we are talking about things that are not in a language model. So you can have creativity if you train the creativity. But in this case, we are not training creativity. What we are training, no, what the people is training is not creativity. They are training a language. They are training how to speak the language of answer questions.
Yeah, and in case of how the generative model, how it's called, I forgot how they call the model that creates images, but it's not trained yet to create. It trains to blur at maximum and then to unblur, but unblur it and create an image based on the colors and something like that. So it not creates. It's just generates pixels.
No, yes, for sure, and this is different. But again, as soon as you train an AI to do that, so nobody can tell you no, this is very bad, because if you have an AI that is trained to do that, for sure that one day is going to be better than whatever other person. Because it's like, for example, the cars. When there is a machine that is driving for you, for sure that there will be a moment when the car is driving better than you, because imagine that there is no humans in the equation. So if there is no human in the equation and there is only machines driving, for sure that there will be less and less and less accidents in the road, for sure. This is something that is known. But why? Because they are following algorithms and they are not following, because when you're driving on the road, okay, again, I am not driving, but okay, my wife drive, you see that always there is a guy who is driving 120 kilometers per hour when you only can go to 60. And then maybe he drank 20 beers and he's completely drunk and he's driving, and many things could happen. But it's going to be more, but if machines are driving, the number of accidents are going to be less, for sure. So when you train something to do one task, it's going to be better. So impossible that is not. Now we go to something different. That is what the people always says: the emotions. What is art? What is not art? Eh, I'm going to paint something like imagine like Picasso. But why Picasso painted like that? Maybe he was suffering. Maybe he was a bad person. Maybe he was, you know, he was a golatra. He maybe all these kind of feelings that he had inside was making that Picasso was Picasso. So he was able to do that because all this fear and all this anger that he has inside, he was expressing outside. Now, if you talk with Mid Journey, this is not a human with these kind of feelings. This is only an algorithm that is going to know what is good, what people likes, and is going to generate something. And this is the difference. It's like when you read a book of I don't know, Mario Benedetti or whatever, you feel things. When an AI writes something today, you cannot feel, because you know that the history of this AI is not the history of Allen Ginsberg. So you know that he wasn't completely drunk and completely suffering like many others. So then when you read these guys, you know that, wow, man, you have fire on you, and you're expressing all this fire. But when the AI is writing, it's something, okay, copy paste. So this is the difference.
And the same is for this tool in Photoshop. Like it still takes a creative mind to even um, decide what should be on this image. For example, when the tool generated this grape or grapes of lamps, it was the designer that decided that I should turn this into a tree and not the tool, right? So it still takes creativity. It still takes part of the human, and this is where their job will be in the future. So they still have to use this tool. So it's just another iteration of comfort when we create something, but it still does not replace the creativity. Even though it looks very impressive, it looks like, oh my God, AI generated very impressive image. No, it's the guy, it's the artist who created this image using this impressive tool, not the AI. And this is something that reminds me that no matter how cool the tool, there is still someone who are using this tool. And we have to like learn how to use this tool. But there is another example I wanted to discuss when I think that the tool should or might replace the tool is remember when the the search engines, the Google and other platforms started showing you advertisement based on the search results and search queries that you put into search machine. And basically what they do is they are collecting a lot of data about you and they're starting to recommend you things thinking that they are relevant to you, to your current life, to your current financial capabilities or something like that.
Yep.
Even though they and something similar, I think, will be possible with evolution of AI in marketing sector.
Yes.
Like for example, but I don't know. So I used ChatGPT to tell me what companies is getting through, what they're experiencing, and what pains they might have in their infrastructure, or like I basically asked him to guess whether this particular company will be a good match for us at MKDev. And even though it wasn't able to provide enough information about that, it still tried, right? It still give me the description of the company, what they do, how many people they have in the staff, based on, I don't know, based on what he gets, what they're doing, what their services, and based on what their services they provide, he guessed what infrastructure they might have, something like that. So, and it was based on the open data. But imagine if we as a company share to, for example, to LinkedIn, what tools we are using on everyday basis, and the same thing another company does, and then LinkedIn analyze all the companies that in its database, and then it takes this company A and company B, and it sends the messages to both of us saying you are a great match, so you are doing this and you are selling that, you are a match, now go and do business, something like that. It is entirely possible, and it is AI that can scan like a lot of data.
So you're inventing the how is that? I don't remember these tools to have a relation. And Tinder or Grinder, but this
Tinder, yeah, basically, I'm creating a Tinder for B2B.
Tinder or Grinder for companies. So
Yes, yes, yes. And there is a song from Rammstein. I don't want to be
could be,
explicit.
for sure, because imagine this company, this OpenAI. So the guy, the CEO of OpenAI, is not a poor guy. No, the other day he was in the U.S. Congress. He was telling that I am not getting money from AI. So, and even I don't get stock from AI. For sure that maybe this is true, but for sure that in the contract of this guy is telling that he has no stock today, but he will have 20% of the revenue of for sure. Not today, because today is a company that is losing money. For sure that is losing money. Millions of millions of millions of money. For sure. Why? Because they are trying to make something that is going to explode. And this is what happened with this company. And they're going to make money one day. But everything in this world is because of money. So OpenAI is making money because Microsoft is adding money, but then Meta said, okay, this is another good business, and then Google go, everything is AI and everything is AI. So you go to the supermarket and you make the cochinita pibil with AI, everything is AI. So and and because everything is AI and everything is money, for sure that there will be ideas that will make money, because at the end, for me, the only bad problem with that is that something that could be used to help many people in the humanity, at the end is going to be used if this generates money or
To
not.
make even more money.
Yeah, I was thinking. I don't know if you saw there is in the news. There is okay. There are two kind of people, no, with this kind of problem. The tetraplegic, that are the people who cannot move any part of they only can move the head, and the paraplegic, that are the people who can not move the medium part down of the body, so they cannot move the legs.
Mhm.
So, and there is a new device now created with the help of AI that make that one guy, maybe wrong with the location. I think it was in UK or in Australia, something like that. That now this guy is able to talk with no operation. So what they are doing is that the brain of the guy is telling to the body, because when you have this kind of illness, your brain is working for sure, and your brain is telling move your hand, and because he is paraplegic, not tetraplegic, he can move the hands. So, but now at the same time, the brain is telling to the legs, move my right leg, or move the feet of my, or move my feet, or whatever thing. So they were able to know what is happening. Looks like I'm not an expert on that, doctor.
Mhm.
So looks like there is, when you have this imagine accident or whatever thing, the connection, the wire, let's call it this way, is broken, but the brain is still sending the information. It's not stopping to send this information. And what they did is they made a bypass to connect to the leg, and now the guy can walk.
Fantastic.
So with no operation, it's the same legs, the same thing. The only thing is that they
But he still has some tool attached to his brain, like some box or something like
yes,
that.
he has some kind of helmet that can be reduced, but he can walk. Okay, walk with help, but he can walk. So he was in a wheelchair, and now he can walk. It's something crazy. So, and I was reading about that, and says no, super cool, but this is not going to be in the market
Hmm.
in the next 10 years. And you say first in the market. So for sure that if one company invests million of that, is because this company wants to make more millions of that. And to do that, they need to first to find the correct way to create a correct product that is able to be sold. So you cannot sell, sorry, sell. You cannot sell a product like it is today, because
Okay, but really, I understand. But okay, I'm ready to pay for such a feature. So I just upload my.
yes, but you don't get my point. My point is that, come on, so why not whatever X organization? So there is a guy, all the scientists, people, everyone make money. And there is one guy who is called Patarroyo, who made the malaria, if I remember correctly, the malaria vaccination. And the laboratory of they said, okay, no, we, you spend money with that, blah, 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 blah. He was the creator of the malaria vaccine, and he get for free to the humanity.
Yeah.
So, but this is the only case. So this is the problem, because there are not so many guys like him. So, and the problem is that we have these days is the money, because if there is a government that is spending all these millions to get money to create vaccines for the COVID, like we saw 2 years ago, if you spend only 1 million part of this money, today, in 2 years, we have a tool, and everyone that is with problems to walk, he keeps walking now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but because this is not generating money, and this is based in a patent that this company has, so this is not possible. So for me, this is the main problem with these all these themes that we have here with AI and all these kind of themes, that at the end is everything is based in money. Why we have cars that are driving alone? Because these generate money. This is not made because we are going to save people in accident. No, man. I'm doing that because I want to get money. So, and for me, this is sad, because even the public universities, they patent themes, and the money goes to the universities.
Mm-hmm.
So for sure that when something happened in university, they open the patent, we're right, but but it's not in, I think that we need to do more things for the humanity, and not for the money. So, And I can see that most of these things that are happening today are happening because of money. Google was scary because the business that they have are going to be reduced, not disappear for sure, because it's still most of the humans still use Google daily.
So are you saying that we should not expect that our job environment will change soon, because what will happen soon is that this corporation will gate all the technologies behind a paywall for us to get access to it, and rather than helping us to evolve into a next stage of working environment, we will be paying for tools that will generate even more money for them. And basically we will stuck at the same level where we are today, with all this recommendations that pop up, or millions of tools that force us to pay money to create even more job for ourselves.
Yeah. and at the end,
Short answer, yes.
yes, what I used to do every 2 or 3 months, I check my bank account and I see all the subscription to all these tubes that I have. And I start to go one by one. No, I don't need that anymore. No, I don't need that anymore. No, I don't need that anymore. And I start to remove one after the other, because it's true. You end up with hundreds of, not hundred, but with a big number of subscriptions of tools that at the end you are not you are not using, but you are making rich the people with these kind of tools. It's something like, for example, now if you want to use ChatGPT, you need to pay 20 euros or $20. So I don't know if it's dollars or euros. If you want to use, I don't know, I was using before Grammarly, that is a tool that helps you to correct your grammar. You need to pay 16 euros. If you want to hear music, you need to pay Spotify. If you need to Dropbox, you start to pay. It's like there is an article from Kirill about how many themes we have to pay monthly in the company only to give services. It's something like one place where we have Dropbox, and then we have Stripe, and then we have, and you start to count one after the other. Come on, man. So you pay a lot of things that you don't need to code like it was before, but you need to have all these things, and it's crazy. And again, OpenAI created GPT to make money, not to save us from the attack of merchants. No, they made that because they want to have more money than the day that they started this investment. And Microsoft had money there because of Zane, not because they want to help the humanity. No, man. Microsoft put money there because they want to make more money. It's like it is.
Yeah, that's a very interesting idea. And I think this is a very good place to conclude the conversation and to reflect on that. Anything that is created, in the end, it was created for to create money, to gain more money.
Oh, with the money.
Yeah, I like money. Okay, thank you, Pablo, for joining me today. Kirill, I hope you listen to us.
I don't think so.
There on your fancy hotel. And I want to thank you, every one of you, the guys who joined us today to listen to us and to watch us on YouTube. Thank you for that. Give us likes, give us subscribes, and don't forget to subscribe to our MKDev Dispatch newsletter that I mentioned before. And we will hear you in 2 weeks. Bye, guys. Bye, Pablo.
Thank you. See you.
There are no challenges that we couldn't overcome. Whether it is immediate infrastructure problems or planning a future project, we won't simply answer your questions. We become a part of your team to help you complete the mission. Our solutions consider the interests of your business and the combined expertise of the industry, as our staff is made up of more than a dozen experts in different areas who share decades of field-tested experience and knowledge with you.